Welcome to the Freedom to Create podcast, where creativity, entrepreneurship, and business collide to help you build a life on your terms.
So if you're ready to step into the freedom that's already yours, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's chat. My armpits are sweating.
I'm putting that in.
We're your hosts, Reg and Kala, photographers, educators, and parents who believe you don't have to follow the rules to create a thriving business and a life that you love. Here's the truth. You have the freedom to create a business that fuels your life, not one that drains it. To break away from the traditional grind, step fully into your purpose, and build something that gives you freedom in your work, your home, and your family.
Whether you're just stepping into your calling, scaling your business, juggling parenthood, we get it. Maybe you're just trying to figure out how to make your dreams work. Either way, you're in the right place. We're here to give you real, unfiltered conversations about building a creative business, balancing life and work, and the hard-learned lessons we wish we knew sooner. We're not just here to talk, we're here to equip, encourage, challenge, and guide the next generation of creative entrepreneurs who are ready for the freedom to create something meaningful. Welcome to the Freedom to Create podcast. Thanks for stopping by. We're so happy that you are here today.
It's podcast day.
It's podcast day.
We're so excited for this day. Thank you for being here. Even though we're not sure if you'll stay, but we're very excited that you tuned in and you're here. I'm glad we're here.
It's going to be worth what you paid for it.
Which is nothing. So there's that. But it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun. Okay. So do you want to introduce us? Do you want me to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure how long it'll take you if you introduce us.
That's true, y'all. Okay, go ahead.
Let's see. So we're Reg and Kala. You've already heard a little bit about us. I'm sure that's why you've stuck around. Let's see. I started photography in December of 2009 is when I got my first camera. I mainly just sucked for a while. I don't know. Just kind of sat there and didn't do well.
Yeah. When was your first wedding?
2011 or 12.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember when now. I'd have to go back and look. No, you weren't there.
Oh, you did another wedding before?
I had weddings before.
Okay.
And then, let's see, 2013, Kayla and I got together and we shot our first session together, which was pretty interesting.
Was that a wedding?
No, that wasn't a wedding. That was a
twin.
That was
twins.
Yep.
That was twins.
And then we ended up having twins. Look at all that.
Full circle.
Yeah, coming together. But at that session, Kayla just kind of took my camera. She had never used my camera before, and she just kind of grabbed it while I had set it down to do something with the babies. And I literally remember thinking, what is she doing? She knows absolutely nothing.
I also didn't know what I was doing, so.
So why did you grab my camera?
I have zero idea. I don't even remember.
You don't remember grabbing my camera?
I just wanted to do what you were doing. Maybe. Or I just wanted to be
You're
included.
Saying you wanted to be like me.
No.
Yeah.
I wanted to be better, and I am. So there's that.
Well, I've taught you everything that you know, so you should be better.
No.
The student has surpassed the teacher. You're welcome.
Whatever, you did not teach me everything I know, and this has totally changed my entire mood and voice, clearly, because it's upsetting to me when you say that. So, anyways, what was I going to say?
I was telling them about us. You took my camera?
Yes, I took the camera because I just wanted to be included and involved in what we were doing.
Well, you were.
That's why I think I did. And I enjoyed it, and it was fun.
Then we shot our first wedding together about 6 months after that.
Yep.
They're still together.
We actually saw them on TV Sunday, which was interesting.
It was funny.
But yeah, that was super fun. And that got me hooked. Like, being there on wedding day got me hooked. I was nervous, very nervous, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And it was fun that we both got to do it,
Yep.
Like at different parts of the day.
Yep. And then, let's see, so we were Reg and Kala Photography we're still Reg and Kala Photography, but in 2020, what?
We were Hearst Images.
Oh,
we were still under Hearst Images. I wasn't even a Hearst. And we were under Hearst Images. And then, fast forward.
What year was that? Was that 2017 or 2016?
What?
I think it was 2017
rebrand?
when we rebranded to Reg and Kala.
Yeah, probably 2017. 2016?
I don't.
Because we were about to get married in 2016, and then I feel like I remember thinking, oh well, I'll be a Hearst finally, so it fits. But then
so it must have been 2017 when we fixed it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Because nobody called us Hearst Images.
0 people did.
So we became Reg and Kala Photography. Then in 2021, we expanded our team. We created the Reg and Kala Associate Photographers and the Associate Team. And then in September of 2024, we ended that program and created the Pearl Collective, which is now our team of photographers and videographers that spans from Miami, Florida to Ohio, all the way to Missouri currently. And yeah.
Which I love our pearls.
And then we have 4 kids in that span too.
Yep.
We do have a set of twins.
We're also homesteading in the midst of all of that.
Yeah, but that's just kind of like our hobby. That's what allows me to go outside for an hour and not think.
But it's part of our life. We've got chickens, we've got rabbits,
Some guys golf, I garden.
Yeah, some guys golf, I garden. That's nice. You should get a shirt that says that.
Oh, I should. That's going to be merch.
Merch. That's what I was about to say. Everybody get the shirt. Get the shirt.
Yeah, but so many guys golf.
Unless you golf, then you.
Yeah, all their husbands won't wear it.
Literally, probably every guy listening to this golfs. So they're not going to wear that shirt.
But nobody's ever invited me to golf. I think that's why I've never done it.
I've been invited to golf.
And I've not?
Yes.
Who invited you to golf?
I've been invited to be taught to golf. And I've been invited to golf. You've been invited to golf too.
No one has ever said, hey, would you want to come golf?
Oh, well, they're inviting me. So I don't know. If they don't want to play with you, they want to play with me.
Of course.
I mean, that's just how it goes.
Of course.
Not everybody can just be the favorite. So.
I don't know if that's true, but...
I mean, that's what's going on. Anyways, so...
Let's see. I think that's about a good overview of who we are.
Yeah. I'm sure people will know of us too if they follow us and things like that. But if they don't, that's a pretty good assumption.
Assumption
of what
Introduction?
Introduction is a better word.
They probably have assumptions already.
All right. So who is this podcast going to be for?
So it'll be for creative entrepreneurs in general, wedding industry professionals, event professionals, parents in business together.
Things we're going to hit on.
Working together probably a little bit. We get asked that a lot. Everybody always asks how I work with you all the time, and I'm just like, patience.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I legit had a engagement session not 2 weeks ago, and she's like, so what's it like working with Kayla all the time?
And you told them, oh, it's so much fun. It's so great. I wouldn't want to have it any other way because she is the reason we're here. Right?
I just looked at her.
And you were tearing up, and it was like, I'm so lucky to work with Kayla because she's amazing.
I looked at her, and she's like, blink twice if you need help.
Here's a 1-800 number. If you don't want to work with your wife, just call this 1-800 number. I'm just kidding.
But no, we get asked that a lot of like how we work together because we're together quite a bit.
Literally all the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, not all the time. But
yeah, we have breaks, but yeah.
Also, like we do 2 different sides of the business. I don't think people realize that. I think they think we're like sitting beside each other at the kitchen table. Yeah,
we're not like on the same side like people do at restaurants, and they're like, hey, they haven't seen each other all day, and it's just like, ew. I need to breathe over here, not beside of you.
Yeah, you're way too close.
Yeah, even this is kind of close. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Can we just slide that way?
We don't just sit on the same side and do everything. You're on your laptop and I'm on mine, and we just like, hey, like,
and we do 2 different things too. It's like we shoot together, but like we do 2 different parts of the business. So even if we were working at the same time, it's not like
that's true.
We're not both editing pictures together.
Yeah, we do different things. We have our own lanes.
Yeah.
You do a lot of coaching calls. I do a lot of one-on-one editing calls. They kind of overlap here and there. And then I do mostly all of the sorting and editing now. And then you do a lot of like the business management side and the like connection side. I would say marketing type things too. I'm more social media, but you're more like other marketing. Yeah. So that's nice. It's a nice little like we have our own little lanes, but yeah, it's a nice, what do you want to call it?
I don't know.
I'm trying to like, how do I package this in the Easter basket?
Maybe setup.
Structure. It's a great structure to have. And then whenever you're working, I have the kids. Whenever you're working, I have the kids. Did I just say that?
Bull crap. You don't have the kids. Okay, whenever you're working, I have the kids. And whenever I'm working, everybody's asleep. So.
No. Okay, you choose to work at nighttime. I choose to get up early in the morning and work. So
everybody's asleep then too. So
yeah, so we just work when everybody sleeps, and yeah, it's great. It's great. Everybody's like, "How's that working for you?" Yeah. Like, y'all can't even get it together. You have no idea what you're doing. It's probably because we haven't slept in the past 15 months, but it's fine. We're making it work.
Yep. All right. So why did we start a podcast?
We started it because, we started it because I clearly don't know how to do this, and you do. No, I'm just kidding. But I wanted to start it because I feel like there's a big gap between what is shown behind the scenes of running a photography business versus what we see on social media. And I feel like a lot of folks, especially those who don't work inside of a collective like what we have the opportunity to do and work with, as a husband and wife team like we've had to do, there's things that go on, and like the transparency is not on social media. And so
yeah, of course not.
Bringing those lessons that we've learned kind of to the surface and let people see behind the curtain instead of just being like, everything's perfect all of the time, and this is how we run our business, and this is how our life is, and it's just beautiful and glamorous all the time. Like,
100%.
I love the idea of just making it messy and making it raw and real, and bringing people into this community to support them in whatever season they're in, and like,
because
all of that.
like the funniest thing is I'll sit with a new photographer and they're like, oh my God, like whoever is doing so good, I'm so happy for her. I don't know if I could ever do that. And I'm like, she's not doing that great. I know what she's doing. I talked to her last week.
Okay.
She told me about what her business is doing. She's struggling on finding clients. She needs help with this, that, or the other. And then you even bring it up. You're like, well, that's social media. It makes it look like she's busy. And she's like, oh yeah, I know that. And I'm like, yeah, you might know that, but whenever you're scrolling, whenever you're thumbing through, putting all those miles on your fingers, you're not thinking, oh my gosh, this is actually just what she wants me to see, or he wants me to see. Mm-hmm. But it's like you compare yourself, and that does suck. A lot of photographers, video, whoever, they all do that. Business people in general do that, just keeping up with the Joneses in a different way. Yeah. But yeah, 100%. I wanted to start it because there's a lot of people don't get the opportunity to go in business together, and they're doing it separately. And then they don't have anybody to talk to. They don't understand that there's a whole community of people that are struggling with the same things they're struggling on, because they can't go to their spouse and be like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this, the whole business side, because when they go to their spouse is an employee, so they give them employee advice. Mm-hmm. Yep. And having business owner or self-employed advice is completely different than being, and not that either is better than the other.
But it's just a different mindset.
You have to think of them differently.
Yeah.
Just like investors, they're not better than employees or better than self-employed people, but investors have to think differently than either of those two.
Right.
So
it's just a different industry. It's a different way of, careers. So
yeah. And if you don't have someone to talk about it with, you feel like you
have to do it all by yourself.
You're alone.
Yeah. And
a lot of times I hear this so often is that they're either alone, or they don't have anyone to talk to, or that they're just straight up lonely in business and they need help. And that's what they could use is a community around. So that's why I want to do this, is so that people see us and they think that we're the best on whatever. Like, oh my gosh, you have so many kids. I'm like, we literally put the car together as we're flying down the interstate. We have no idea what we're doing.
We never get anywhere on time.
Anyone that thinks that someone else knows what they're doing, they're just being fooled, because we have no idea what we're doing half the time.
No, we still haven't got it together. We're still trying to get it together. I literally tell my mother-in-law every week, I'm like, I might get it together this week. And she's like, no, you won't. And I'm like, I know.
And we won't.
And that's okay, because that's what I said, just real, raw. This is our season. It's fine. Not that y'all should be late. That's not an excuse to be late to anything that's paying you.
You're late to everything.
I know.
When you went to that session the other week with me, we hadn't shot together in a while. And when you went to that session, I was literally like, we have to leave.
We did. We got there, and then they were late, so it worked out. So it was meant to be. It was meant for me to be late that day.
It was not.
Well, they never knew I was late. So.
Yeah, but still.
So just
be on time. All right, so freedom to create. Anyone that knows us knows that everything that we do in our business, we have a reason for.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent. We have a reason that we did it. So why did we call this freedom to create?
We called it that because we want everyone to be able to have the opportunity to unlock the power of freedom in their life. Whether it's professional, personal, financial, whether it's like artistry, like whatever that looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's creating something, whether they realize it or not.
Yeah.
You're either
creating the life that you want,
the life you want, the family you want, the business you want, the art that you want, the time that you want, the trips that you want. You're creating all of this.
Yeah.
I just don't think people think of it as that they're creating something, even though that they are.
That's true, and that they don't have the freedom to do that, whether it's a mindset belief that's holding them back, whether it's a financial burden that's holding them back, debt, whatever that looks like, whether it's they just haven't tapped into like their talents and gifts and skills in the art world and the photography world. I think that's a big thing too, because I feel like up until recently, I don't know how recent, maybe a couple years ago, but like I didn't have a good understanding of what I wanted to do creatively. I was just trying to do what everybody else was doing. You just show up on a wedding day and you get these pictures and that's it.
Yeah.
And learning what I like to, I didn't mean to touch that, but learning what I wanted to photograph, how I wanted to tell the story, how I wanted to show up and like document this day. It was very different than what we were doing in the early years.
Yeah, it went from kind of like machine and conveyor belt
to factory,
much more like tailored boutique.
Yeah, which I love. So I do believe that everybody has that in them to do that. They just might not be able to see it yet.
Yeah,
so I'm hoping that maybe we can bring some of that to the surface too, on the business and the art side.
And also like inspire someone to have the freedom to create something.
Yeah, and
because maybe they think that they don't have the time or they don't have the talent
or the opportunity. They have to go to college
or the skill.
Yeah.
Like what we do, I tell people all the time, like I can teach anyone to be a photographer in 3 months.
Yeah.
Like good photographer.
Yeah.
Learning how to use a camera is literally like learning how to use a wrench. It's just a tool. It's not, oh my gosh, this is something so special.
YouTube can teach you how to be a good photographer in 3 months, if we're going to be honest.
Just going and taking pictures. Photography is not on a learning curve. It's on a repetition curve. Mm-hmm. It's like you don't learn how to play football by going and reading a book on how to play football. You learn how to play football by going and throwing a ball or catching a ball or tackling someone or getting tackled.
Yep.
Like that's the same with photography. You learn how to do it by putting it in your hand and doing it. And a lot of it's not going to turn out great. You're not going to love all of it, but you just keep those photos in the basement and you show everybody else what came out of it.
Right.
And at first it might be a lesser amount is great, and then...
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah. Less is more at the beginning.
Yeah, and eventually the more that you do, the better that you'll get at it, and you'll be putting out more great content than not so great content.
Yeah, and the more that you shoot, the more confidence you're going to build. So, yeah, just getting that camera in your hand and doing it as much as you possibly can. Okay, so what can people expect to hear from us on the podcast?
I think it's going to be a lot of stuff that you're not just going to get off of YouTube, like YouTube University.
Yeah.
Being able to have like someone else in the industry that you're in to be able to know like, hey, I can relate to them. I can understand where they're coming from. They can give information that maybe I can't find anywhere else, like things we're seeing in the market from one year to the other. We have been doing this for 12 years, so like we kind of know the ebbs and flows of the market. We've been through, great seasons. We've been through not so great seasons as far as like, just the recessions and stuff too.
Yep.
So that also, this one's really important. I'm going to give them a dad joke. They're going to love it. You're going to love it because you're going to be the only one to hear it. The 17 people listening to...
I've already heard them, probably.
No.
Okay.
I have new content.
Oh, that's the only new content you've had. Okay, great. Anyways, they could also expect some maybe hot takes of ours.
I really like getting under people's skin. That'll be great for me.
You get under mine all the time.
I should have my own hot
everybody
take.
else too. Do you know that you get under everybody else's skin too? Literally, we were talking about you this morning.
Oh, how I'll get under everybody's nerves?
Yeah.
Good. Because you know what? Sometimes
I was wondering what you were gonna say.
Sometimes
I was like, is this gonna bother him or not?
Did you expect me to say anything?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, who was it? No, I'm just kidding. Just got everyone in trouble. No, I'm just kidding.
So also, like, we can share like things that we're doing like with our team and like new things that we're learning, and maybe it's like new gear or something that's just hitting that someone might be on the fence about, should I get it or should I not?
That's a good one.
Yeah. Because like maybe it's a slight difference in a camera because everybody on the team has a different camera. We have from Canon R6s to Nikons to Sonys. Like that's one interesting thing about our team where everybody has different cameras. Like it's not just everybody's team Canon, even though Sony suck.
Sponsored by Sony. No, just kidding.
No, legit. Sony, if you want to give me a camera, I will use it because the ones I've used are amazing.
We need it for this podcast, actually.
I don't have one, but I'll promise if you give me one, it's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Wow, poor Sony.
No, they're really not that bad. They're really actually
No,
a
they're
good
actually
camera.
really amazing. We're a little sad.
If I'm going to crap on a camera, I'm going to crap on a Canon. But anyway. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. I also think that mindset is a really big thing that we can talk about. I know that like you kind of hear about that, and I don't know if that's technically like a buzzword anymore, but like just talking about when things get hard, like what you can do. Hustle culture is not any joke. Like everybody thinks, especially in the photography industry, like you have to.
Oh, people think they get their worth out of being busy, and that's not true.
Yeah, and that's something. I mean, we're guilty of it, but like getting on the backside of that, that's not healthy. And we want to make this a very like healthy mindset environment.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's taken us a lot further than working 80 events a year ever did.
Yeah, I mean, we worked 48 out of 52 weekends one year, and that wasn't great.
No, it wasn't.
And that sucked.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. It doesn't, it's not any better or any worse. It's just different.
Yeah. Oh, also like the journey to full time. Like, because a lot of people that do photography, that's what they want to do. They want to be full-time
there's a lot of people.
And so maybe like talking about our journey through that. And,
learning about the tipping point of like how to know when is the time that when your full-time job is keeping you from making more money, but also
because there is a middle.
Don't jump beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, don't buy a camera this week and quit your job next week.
Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about like the ways that you can still like manage your, full-time and also build your photography business at the same time.
So the thing about photography is it is a art and a business, and you have to have the business side. If you're not strong on the business side, get a mentor that can help you on that side, because you have to have backside processes. You have to have systems in place. It's not just go and do. You can't be this open creative that's like, oh, I just want to feel my way through. No. I know. So annoying. Because you have to have, it's not a business then it's a hobby.
Well, we did have a hobby for a long time.
Then you're creating art, and that's great. Go create pretty art if that's what you want to do. But if you want to have a business, if you want to make money, if you don't want to have to work a full-time job, then you have to make it a business, and doing the business things are important.
Yeah. You do all my business things, so it was easy for me.
Yeah,
but
that's why I said if someone's not strong in that side, to get a mentor that can help keep them accountable.
Oh yeah, if you didn't do all that,
even just a once a month call, you could help keep someone accountable on that.
Yeah. Ooh, accountability. Holding people accountable.
Yeah, very true.
For what they should be doing.
Did you just get attacked by a gnat?
I did. No, I just like to wave my hand in front of my face.
That's the first.
Anyways.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I kind of think that's a good rundown of kind of how it's going to go.
So if someone's listened to this whole podcast and they're like, that's great, I'm glad it's worked for y'all, but it's not working for me. What is something that you can tell them as a word of encouragement to get from today to next week? Yes. Who else am I talking to, Kayla? I'm literally looking at you. There's no one else here. Legitimately, there's no one here.
Okay, I thought you were talking to me to ask you that question. That's what I thought. Okay. And I was like, hold on, there's a lot of words. And that's how it looked like. Okay, I'm sorry. You can ask me again.
I just asked you.
Okay, I was like looking at your eyeballs because
I know, but you were looking at my.
Shut up.
You were looking at my. You were looking at my eyeballs, and then you said, "Are you talking to me?"
Okay.
So, if someone listened to this whole podcast and they're like, Reg and Kala, I'm so glad that worked for you, but it's not working for me. What is something that you could tell them to get them from today to at least next week?
Just know that we've been where you are, and that you can 100% absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, do this too, because we didn't have any special privilege whenever we got started. We decided this is what we wanted to do, this was our dream, and we were going all in on it, and that we didn't look back. Like, that was it for us. We had a very big why, which that why did change over the years.
Well, yeah.
But like whenever it got really serious, like whenever we decided to go full-time in 2018, our why was, long story short, our family. And we wanted freedom over our schedule and our money, and we didn't want our life to be in anybody else's control. Because you lost your job 8 days after Elliot was born, after we moved to Raleigh and sold our house and all of that. I don't know if you want to go into that right now, or we can talk about it later, but...
Yeah, let's talk about it later.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, but it does change. So I mean, even if you are in that season, or if you want to be in that season, like having that as your why, or even just remembering why you got into photography. Why do you love it so much? Who do you want to do it for? Because you're here for a reason, and you picked it up for a reason. And I truly believe that everybody that grabs a camera has something special to do with it. Maybe they just can't see it yet, but if they stick with it and they're really serious about it, they can do anything. Yeah,
true. I also think if I'm going to give someone something, if they're like on the edge of like, I don't know what to do, I'm really thinking about quitting, like I could just sell my camera and whatever, like focus on one thing this week.
Yeah.
Make progress in one direction this week. Stop trying to carry everything. Stop trying to do all the different, TikToks and Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and email marketing, and don't do all of it.
Popcorn method.
We can talk about the popcorn method later.
But popcorn method is so cool.
But just do one thing for this week that's going to, like, with intense focus. This is what we work on.
Yeah.
Maybe it is social media, but pick one social media, and that's the only one that we're going to focus on. We're going to do one thing that's going to help our business every single day.
Yep. And don't be scared, because your brain is going to do everything it can to reason why you shouldn't do this, and challenge it to see what happens if you were to be successful.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
We literally just go against the grain with everything.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And like also with that, like, and people worry about what other people are going to think, and just know that no one that is ever doing, you will only be criticized by people doing less work than you are.
Yeah.
So if anyone ever makes you feel a certain way, just know that they're not working as hard as what you're working.
And believing what other people might be saying about you never paid the bills for us. So we didn't care. We just did it anyway. We did what we wanted to do. So just do what you want to do.
Really interested to see what people think about us after this.
Oh, they're probably doing. They're probably.
I can't wait to see the comments on this. They're going to be like just one after the other.
Man, I'm scared now.
It's all right.
On that note, thank y'all for being here.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform that you're listening on. It really helps bump this up in the algorithms. That way it can help another creative entrepreneur. And you could also share it on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Tag us in the stories. That would be
amazing. Send us a DM.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought. If you hated it,
send that as a private DM. Wait, I don't think there's any other DM, but like, just send it in a DM.
Yeah, just don't put it on a comment.
But if you loved it, put it in a story.
Yeah, exactly. Cool deal.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank y'all for being here.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye. Oh my God, Mom. It's just winning.
I'm leaving that in.